I'm Matt Moran. Welcome back to my channel, or if it's your first time, welcome to the channel. Today I'm going to talk about these three guitars and why they are special to me, how I got them, what part of my playing and songwriting journey they've taken a part in, and yeah, just a little bit about them. I did a video like this before on my old channel, but when I scraped the channel and brought it over, started doing stuff on the music channel, that video was taken off the technology, tutorial channel because it didn't really fit. Although I have a Travis picking lesson out there that's very popular. I've thought about taking it down and republishing it. I don't know. We'll see what happens. In any case, I want to take you through these guitars, what they mean to me, and a little bit about them, how I got them. So I'm going to start with the guitar that I learned to play guitar on. Then I've talked a little bit about this. My dad was a banjo player. I had taken a little bit of piano, and then one day, he was recording "Blowing in the Wind" on a cassette tape player, and I loved that cassette. I was just fascinated to me to watch him just playing his banjo, singing the song. He had this great baritone voice, really booming voice that I don't have and can't emulate, but it was amazing. And I loved that tape. But in any case, I told him I wanted to learn to play guitar, and he pointed to this guitar. And so, understanding a little bit about our family, my dad was not the kind to sit down and go, "Well, here's how you play a chord, son." He was very self-sufficient on his own. Took his own classes in art, started doing art, and learned how to play banjo on his own, and any number of other things. So he pointed to this guitar, which he had bought for my mom years prior. This is a Guild Mark I Classical, so it's made out of mahogany, and I feel bad because when I took the guitar out today and tuned it up, these strings are old, but they actually sound okay. This guitar is a beautiful guitar. So it's got a beautiful sound. It was made in 1963, so it's a couple of years older than me, and it has a smell that I love. Always has, even back when I started playing it, which must have been in the end of the 76, 77, sometime around then is when I really started picking it up. I'd played a little baritone uke prior to that, but in any case, he pointed to this guitar, said, "Your mom never plays it. There's some strings in there. You probably should learn how to restring it." And he had a book of Mel Bay guitar chords, which the number of songwriters I know that must have used the same book or one of those Mel Bay books and learned some chords and how to tune the guitar. This is what I had, and I had a tuning fork, a 440, and ding, and you put it in your mouth and you tune your first string and then tune everything up to it. And this is what I started playing on, and I learned to play everything on this. I was playing rock and roll, and I was playing a little bit of classical and finger picking, and just wonderful guitar here. See if anybody can recognize this. I'm probably going to screw this up since I haven't played this in probably 10 years. Wait. I can't remember how it goes after that. All right, if you know that song, you can mention it in the comments. That would be awesome. But so this is the first guitar I learned to play on. Guild Mark I Classical, 1963. Still a beautiful guitar. I got to put the new strings on it. I should use it in a recording just out of respect for it. This is the guitar that started me playing and writing songs. So guitar number one, super important guitar to me. And everything, and those people who understand the idea of an old guitar smell, they'll understand that smells amazing. So next guitar, and I don't include this one enough in recordings. I've used it in a few. It's a great guitar. So this is another Guild D212. I think It was built in '84, and this guitar is what I wrote on for a lot of years. I wrote a lot of songs on this guitar. This was in the years that I was writing sporadically, so a few songs a year for many years before I really sat down and just started writing a lot. I wrote this song, Misty Blue, which sounds so great on here. There's a color of the lonely, I know you've seen it too. It clouds up your eyes like the sun might do. Anyways, and this guitar's got a little bit of a story to it. If you look closely, you can see a lot of water damage up here in the head of the guitar. You can see some cracks down here that have been mostly repaired. So I'll explain what happened. I'll throw some pictures on screen, but in 2007, I lived in Arizona, and just a freak monsoon storm, July 31st, 2007, hit Cave Creek, Arizona, where we lived. It poured in through our windows of our house and through the air conditioning return ducts that were under the house, and the house just filled with water, a couple feet of water. This guitar was sitting on a guitar stand. It got lifted up, down into the water, covered with water and mud. I literally had to pull the strings off, get mud out of it, spray it with a hose, which sounds obscene, but there was just nothing else to be done. It was literally covered. And for years, I just didn't even string it back up. I figured the guitar was ruined. It was a decorative piece. I wasn't going to get rid of it because this guitar was given to me in 12th grade by my father. And to understand it, my father let me use this guitar. It was my mom that gave me the guitar years later, but my father, he was not one to really buy you stuff just because you wanted it, right? Because I was playing guitar. He waited till I had played for several years. I bought a crappy electric Telecaster and Squire Strat back in the day. And then one day I came home and I didn't even notice it at night. Maybe I had been smoking something with some friends. Wasn't a big drinker, so I don't think it was drinking. But it was high school years, and I walked into the room and didn't notice, woke up in the morning and noticed this new guitar case sitting on the floor, and I opened it up and this was the guitar that was in it, brand new. And I walked out to my dad. He was sitting there reading in his chair, which he always was on the weekend, and I said, "What's this?" And he said, "Oh, it's your Christmas and birthday gift for the next 5 years." I don't think that was true. He probably bought me something. Well, he wouldn't have bought it, but my mom probably bought me something. But either way, I really appreciate it because what he saw is that I was taking time to learn guitar and spend time learning it, and so he bought the guitar to support that. He saw that if you were doing something and you were committing time and effort to it, he could come alongside to support it. That's how he worked, which I fully appreciate. But anyways, so the guitar was literally covered with water. I assumed it was destroyed, and actually when I made the last video about the guitars, it was still in that state. I just said it's a decorative piece, and I showed the guitar. Unbeknownst to me, my oldest son and my youngest daughter, my oldest and my youngest kids, my oldest is son, my youngest is daughter, they saw the video, and my son said, "I want to do something," and called his little sister and said, "Hey, let's get that guitar repaired for Dad, see what we can do." And so my daughter took it out to McCabe's in Santa Monica, and they had to do a lot of work on it, and it was a little bit of money to get it done, but they took the guitar, and I did a lot of work, repairing some of the cracks down here, and they did what they could. There's a little stuff up here that's never going to be quite fixed, but this guitar sounds great. And the cool part about it is they didn't tell me. They said they were using the guitar for a video that they were shooting. My daughter said that. She goes, "Well, be careful with it. We're just using it for this prop in a video." And I said, "Okay." My youngest daughter's husband, my son-in-law, is a videographer and photographer, graphic designer, and they were doing some film shoots, so I let him use it. I didn't really think about it, and several weeks later, my daughter was saying, "Oh, I gotta get to Santa Monica for work, and nobody can help me. Is there any way you could drive me out there?" And I said, "Sure." And so she's driving me out there, and as we're getting off the freeway, I'm saying, "Wow, this is right by McCabe's Guitars. We should stop by McCabe's." And she goes, "Oh, okay, if you want to. I guess the place is right down the street from it." And I said, "Well, what do you want to do first? She goes, well, let's go by McCabe's. We can check it out, some guitars or whatever. I didn't know. This was completely lost on me that, she was hoping I would do that. As she said, it was better than she could have planned, because I literally said, hey, let's go to McCabe's. So we walk in and we're in the guitar shop, and I'm just looking around at guitars. I don't know. She disappeared. Turns out she was talking to one of the guys there and about getting the guitar that was ready. And the guy walks up to me and hands me this guitar case and says, oh, your guitar's ready. And I said, I think you have the wrong guy. Like, I'm just here looking at guitars. I'm here with my daughter for another reason. He goes, no. And he's kind of looked unsure. He apparently didn't know this was a surprise. And he goes, no, she said give it to you. And I said, what? And I see my daughter back there kind of smiling sheepishly. And I'm like, I still didn't pick up on what was going on. And I opened the guitar, I opened the guitar case, I set it down, and I realized I'm looking at my guitar and that it's been repaired and cleaned up and new tuning machines, and I just start crying. I just lost it. And the guy goes, oh, this guitar was, I didn't know they were doing this, so. And it was a really cool story, pretty exciting. So now I've used it on several recordings. I need to use it on some more. It still sounds just amazing. So that's my Guild D212. This other guitar, not really as fancy as the Guild. It's pretty basic. It's beautiful. Let me pull this back here. This is my Ibanez, and I had seen this guitar in Arizona. When did we get? I got this in 2006. I'd actually seen it in 2006 when I was helping my oldest, same son who, with my daughter, got this guitar taken care of, and he was buying an electric guitar. And I saw this one. I go, man, I love those light wood guitars. And he was like, I think that guitar's ugly. And I go, I really like it. Father's Day 2006. I'll try and put some pictures up here as well. And you'll see me weeping. I cry a lot. That's something you'll have to understand about me. But so my two oldest, my oldest son and my oldest daughter, I have 4 kids. If that's not understood yet. Boy, girl. So my oldest two, they were in on this one, and it was Father's Day 2006, and I was starting to play out a little bit more. It's kind of when I really started to settle into a little more songwriting and playing out in Arizona in a place called Cave Creek. I've talked about Cave Creek Coffee Company before. It's a great place to kind of cut your teeth and play with some talented people. And so I'm sitting outside, we're having coffee in the morning, and all of a sudden I see them walk out with this guitar, and I'm like, oh, I wonder whose guitar that is. That's a cool guitar. I'm clueless 90% of the time, apparently. And they come up and hand it to me and say, Happy Father's Day. And so once again, of course, I'm crying over this. And that really, they got me an acoustic electric. It got me started out playing a lot more. I've written probably the bulk of my songs on this just because it's really easy to write on a 6-string and easier to get ready in tune than a 12-string. I mean, once again, written plenty of songs there. Wrote a song recently on that guitar. But this is my primary writing instrument and what I use most of the time when I'm playing out, unless I'm playing my Telecaster. Telecaster, I mean, I love it. Don't get me wrong. I bought that guitar. That was mine. I bought it on my own accord recently, and love the sound of it. It's got a great tone. And I have somebody who works on it that does great work on it. So either way, love the guitar. It doesn't have the same sentimental pull that these three guitars do. And so, I just wanted to kind of share that story and let you know some of the guitars in my life, why they're important to me, and a little of their backstory. And hopefully you found that entertaining or interesting. I'm still working on releasing Making Peace with the War. I'm going to do another video about how frustrating recording was on Sunday. Not because I didn't have time. I had plenty of time, had everything set up, but that'll be another video. I just didn't focus properly, and kind of liken it to writing software. And I'll do another video on that at another time. But anyways, look for Making Peace with the War. I am going to finish it come hell or high water. It will be released on Saturday, and then the other songs will come soon after that. So thank you for tuning in. Once again, if you liked it, if you could like the video, subscribe, click the bell to get updates, all the fun stuff that you do, leave a comment, let me know about your first guitar. If you have anything like one of these, would love to hear your stories. Thanks. See you.
I once believed that I was a good man until I was exposed to the darkness within.